Match day 2 in the UEFA Champions League league phase is on this week, guys. Let's have a look at the 5 highlight games, the 5 matches that I'm looking forward to seeing the most this week in Europe's top table of competition. And where are we going to start then other with Chelsea? Chelsea facing Benfica. Benfica, of course, now managed by Jose Mourinho. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? Mourinho coming back to the Champions League with Benfica, the team that he managed 25 years ago. And of course, he is away at Stamford Bridge against his old side, Chelsea. How is this one going to go? It's been a relatively okay-ish start for Mourinho at Benfica. Chelsea, though, have not really been pulling up many trees. Of course, they lost late on last time out against Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League. So this is a difficult one to read. But I think overall, Mourinho will be very happy with a draw away at Chelsea. And I think Chelsea right now don't really look like scoring many goals. So I'm going to go for them to draw a blank. I am going to go for Mourinho parking the bus masterclass here. 0-0 between these two sides on Tuesday night. Also on Tuesday night, we have Galatasaray against Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, leaving it late on to get their winner against Atletico Madrid in their opening Champions League game of the season, but they did lose for the first time at the weekend in the Premier League against Crystal Palace. Galatasaray, meanwhile, of course, got absolutely hammered away against Eintracht Frankfurt last time out in the Champions League. In the Turkish League, they have won every single game. They are perfect. They were what Liverpool were in the Premier League. But I do think that the gulf in quality between these sides is really, really going to show. Liverpool looking to get back to winning ways, of course. I mean, yes, it is in front of the Galatasaray fans, which adds a bit more anger and vitriol to the atmosphere, to say the very least. But I think Liverpool just got too much quality. You know, Galatasaray, they got some good players like Osimhen, but they don't really have a great team, to be honest with you, particularly in the Champions League. So I think Liverpool are going to win this one relatively comfortably. I'm going to go with 2-0 to the Reds. We head from one extreme of Europe in the east to the other extreme in the north. The frozen norths of Bodo Glimt over in Norway, where it's a rematch of the Europa League Semi-Finals from last season against Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, Spurs managed to get an opening day win against Villarreal, but they were far from convincing. They also dropped points against basement club in the Premier League Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend too. Bodo Glimt managed to get a decent point away from home. I believe it was against Slavia Prague in the opening day of the Champions League season. And domestically, of course, they're doing pretty well as well. They're up in second place in the Norwegian League. And if they win their game in hand, they will go back to the top where they have been for most of the last few years. How do I see this one going? Well, I think this is going to be quite a tight one. I mean, Tottenham did win pretty convincingly in the Europa League semi-finals last time out, but Bodo had to go out and win, you know, to go through, because I think they lost the first leg overall in that one. So a bit of a different dynamic here. You know, Bodo will very much take a draw in this one, and I think they're probably going to get it. I do. I think Tottenham are going to falter here, to be honest with you. I think they're not quite there in terms of being comfortable in the Champions League, but I'm not going to go over 0-0. I think there are going to be goals in this one. I'm going to go with 1-1 to these two sides. Next, let's talk about Wednesday's matches. Monaco against Manchester City. Monaco, of course, not quite the force they used to be in the Champions League, and they got beat pretty hard in the opening game of the Champions League season against Club Brugge of Belgium. They're doing okay in the league so far, in Ligue 1 over in France in 4th place, which isn't too bad overall. Manchester City, though, after a bit of a stumbly start, they seem to have got their mojo back now. And in fairness, they did get a pretty good win against Napoli, the Italian champions, on the opening day. So I think, to be honest with you, I think Man City are going to win this one relatively comfortably, to be honest. I'm going to go with 3-0 to Manchester City. I just feel like Monaco are a relatively easy team to play against. When you have that kind of quality in your side, I don't think it's going to be an awkward one for Man City at all, to be honest. And another one of Wednesday's matches. Normally, I do only cover the English sides, but this is an absolutely huge game, so let's cover it. Barcelona against Paris Saint-Germain. Now, I believe this one is going to be played at the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic. Of course, there is a bit of uncertainty around the stadium right now for Barcelona. Of course, the Camp Nou is not quite ready yet after its renovations, unfortunately. But wherever this is going to be played, it's going to be an excellent game of football. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, Barcelona playing some fantastic stuff right now. PSG playing some great stuff as well, of course. Both sides winning their opening games of the season. Both sides doing well in their domestic leagues too. How is this one going to go? You know, I'm going to back Barca. You guys know I like Barcelona. I'm going to have to back them in this one. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. I feel like, I don't know, PSG, they've lost a few players and they're not quite at the same level they once were. Barcelona, they're on the rise. They've got some incredible young players, of course, the likes of Lamine Yamal in that side. It's an unbelievable team, really, for the future. It really, really is. So I think that Barca are going to win this one, but I'm going to go for a very entertaining game. Let's go with 3-2 to the Catalans. But yeah, those are my predictions for the 5 highlight games in the Champions League this week, guys. Let us know yours in the comments below. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of this. Have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today, and we'll see you very soon.